What's good, everybody, man? This is the Talking Sports with Manny podcast, episode number 70. Welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. This is your first time on this channel. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. We're going to be talking all things fantasy football today. We're going to be talking all things NFL, NBA, whatever topics arise through this stream. So I'm just glad to be able to do it through a stream and then also communicate with the guys on YouTube as well as the people that are going to be listening to this podcast on audio version. Please leave me a review. Please give me a 5-star rating and all that good stuff, man. I'll kindly appreciate it. But yeah, we got tons of topics to talk about today, and I want to highlight some of the drafts that I've been able to do, starting with a league that I'm in. It's called God's League, and I'm going to share that draft with you guys in a minute. What up, Ladarius, man? What's good, man? I'm just here to chop it up and, have a good time. And appreciate the support always, Ladarius, man. It really means a lot to me. But before I get started with this episode, let me go ahead and run my new intro. I hope you guys enjoy it. Yes, sir. That's the new intro to the channel. A very good friend of mine got that done for me, so I'm excited for that, man. So, got a lot to talk about. Let's start with some NFL before I dive into some fantasy football. So, Devin Funchess has been placed on IR. This dude has been on Green Bay. This is going on year 2 in Green Bay, but he's only played 0 games. He's played 0 games, so he's going on IR. And last year he sat out because of COVID. I think this might be his last season in the NFL. I mean, he's getting older. He's not getting any younger, and he just continues to not, produce in terms of being available. Appreciate that, Ladarius, man. I love the intro. I had to come up with something, man. Protect Sports, man. What it do? Hey, for you guys that are going to be watching the replay, or those of you guys that are live right now, go and subscribe to my guy, Protect Sports Network. Really, really, really good guy. So yeah, Devin Funchess, man, he's out. He's out, and I don't get it. The Travis Etienne injury took the NFL world, took the fantasy world by storm. Obviously, we all pray that Travis Etienne comes back and he's healthy and he's able to do the things that he needs to do to prolong his career moving forward. But in the fantasy world, a lot of us is drafting Travis Etienne in Dynasty as the number 2 running back in the draft. A lot of us were drafting guys like it was always Najee Harris, Travis Etienne. And I think the whole situation of Travis Etienne being there with James Robinson kind of scared people away. But Etienne is going to be a nice back. He's going to be a nice back. In Dynasty right now, you can possibly trade and buy low, especially for the guys that are not really fans, but you take a guy based off of best available. So, yeah, that injury hit. And then this morning, man, I wake up to the news of Sony Michel going to the Rams. Granted, I'm not a Sony Michel guy, but when you play Dynasty fantasy football, you literally have to keep your eyes open to everything. If a player is young, I had Sony Michel on my roster for the last 2 years. Everybody's like, why is Sony Michel on your roster? Well, he's still young enough to be a valuable running back in the league. And, things change. The NFL is becoming like the NBA to where you have a player over here, players over there. So there's player movement going on in the NFL right now, especially after that first 4 years. It becomes anybody's ball game. You're starting to see a lot of one-year deals, a lot of prove-it deals. So, yeah, Sony Michel going to the Rams. He has an opportunity to carve out a role. I was actually hoping that Xavier Jones was going to be the guy as the backup, but obviously that didn't pan out. That did not pan out well at all. And now, I'm kind of hoping that Sony Michel does do something positive, because I have few shares of Sony Michel all over. And in actual drafts that I'm in right now, I'm like debating, do I go ahead and grab a Sony Michel? I don't know. It's going to be a 3-headed monster out there, or 3-headed guys. I don't know if they're going to be monstrous backfield or not. But with that offense, they are going to be on a high octane offense. I think that Matthew Stafford is going to have one of his best seasons ever in the NFL. Guys like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods are going to go off. So what does the backfield look like? Xavier Jones, Henderson, Sony Michel. One thing we know about running backs is that they can never stay healthy. They always take a beat down, always. So there's always room for touches and things of that nature. So let's see what happens there. Now, I wanted to get into the draft that I did for a league that I'm in. It's called God's League, and the league is very competitive, and I remember that Sunday I wasn't really able to draft like I wanted to, so I had to go back and forth. And it was funny because Jamar Chase fell to me at the pick 109, and this is a 6-keeper league. So that means the draft starts in the 7th round, and that 7th round is the first round. So grabbing a Jamar Chase at the 109, I asked a question to the people in the group, and I said, why is it that Jamar Chase is falling? Or how did he even fall to me at the 109? They said, well, Jamar Chase has been struggling in the preseason. Now, granted, before the NFL draft, the actual NFL draft, everybody was saying Jamar Chase is this amazing wide receiver, which he possibly could still be. Preseason is not a translation of what's to come. Sometimes, preseason is different from the actual season. So they were saying, oh, well, Jamar Chase is this and that. People said Devontae Smith, he's going to be the guy. Some people say this guy and that guy. When it comes to rookies coming into the NFL, it's all about situation, and it's also about targets. It's about usage. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is not that great. I think their defense is mediocre to the middle to bad. So that means they're gonna have to pass the ball a lot. They're gonna be playing from behind a lot. So you want to have as many Cincinnati Bengals on your team as possible, right? So let me show you guys this draft. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, and you guys feel free to let me know what you guys think of this draft. Share screen. Pro tag. ESPN. All right. So this league, like I said, guys, it's a 6-keeper league, and I always have my team name for the most part as the Washington Redskins. Always. I don't know. It's just something that I've done since I've been playing fantasy football. Of course, I'm a big Washington football fan, but I always name my team the Washington Redskins. So I'm going to kind of run through how this draft went, and you guys let me know what you guys think. So draft results, league, draft recap. So my strategy pretty much in this draft was to grab the best player available. So Najee Harris went number 1, Kyle Pitts, ETN. Now, the guy that drafts ETN, what happened was pick number 2 was a big surprise with Kyle Pitts going at number 2. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was ETN always. So ETN goes pick number 3, and this particular guy was trying to rebuild his team. So I kind of feel bad for him because he was banking on ETN being healthy and being available and things of nature. He had pick number 1 and he had pick number 3. So he went with the 2 top backs in this draft with ETN and Najee Harris. Now, my guy Phil was not able to make the draft. He didn't even set his cue. So he took Chase Edmonds at number 4, and he was mad. He was mad because he's a Javonte Williams guy. So Javonte Williams went 5. I think that Javonte Williams is a top 3 back in this draft and could possibly be the best back in this draft. But we're going to see what happens with Javonte Williams. Julio Jones went pick number 6, which to me was crazy in this kind of draft. But hey, you got to grab the value when you can grab the value. And Team Z again thought that hey, Julio Jones would be a good pick. Kenny Golladay went next, and Devontae Smith went at number 8, and then Jamar Chase went at number 9. So, like I said, I was shocked how this draft went. I'm thinking that Jamar Chase was going to be a top 5 pick. In some drafts, I've seen Jamar Chase go before Kyle Pitts. So, to each his own. I'm happy to have a Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? So, moving on, Damian Harris went number 10. Michael Carter went number 11. And I had number 12. I had the last pick of the first round. And I looked at all the options out there. I saw guys like Ronald Jones out there. I saw OBJ. I saw Jalen Waddle, who I really liked. But taking Jamar Chase, who was a big surprise to me, and I really like Michael Carter, but I'm also a Trey Sermon guy. So I grabbed Trey Sermon with the last pick of the first round. And then in the second round, I was able to get a Raheem Mostert. Okay. I like Mostert and Trey Sermon pairing. All that means is that between these two guys, one of these guys should be the guy. And this being a 6-keeper league, that means that you can go ahead and, keep multiple guys moving forward. AM Hunter, man, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Really appreciate it. So in this second round, to me, the biggest surprise was Tom Brady. Tom Brady went with the last pick of the second round. Phenomenal. Great pick. A guy that I wanted to take in the second round was TJ Hawkinson. But my need for a running back made me pick Raheem Mostert, even though I picked Trey Sermon. Now, if Trey Sermon was gone, then I probably get Hawkinson at 12, and then I just work my way through the draft. Even if I get Hawkinson at 12, there's no – I mean, Trey Sermon might be gone by the time I pick again. Like this league, they love rookies. They love the young guys because these are guys that can come in, step up, become stars, and then you can, keep those guys moving forward. Juju Smith-Schuster was a guy that I was targeting. He went in the middle of the second round. Laviska, a lot of people are big on Laviska Shenault this year, especially with Trevor Lawrence being the quarterback. Logan Thomas goes right after TJ Hawkinson. So the tight end run started to happen, and I didn't have a third-round pick. So it really hurt me not grabbing a tight end with one of my first two picks. But like I said, Jamar Chase was not part of the plan. I appreciated Jamar Chase because if not Jamar Chase, I would have had Hawkinson possibly in that spot. So when that happens, in the third round, granted, I have all these picks, right? So I can make my picks early. I go for the Washington football defense with the last pick of the third round in a 6-keeper league. And everybody's possibly going crazy in the chat. I wasn't really in the draft, but I was there. So being that I had 4 picks in the fourth round, I take the Washington's defense in the third round because I feel like they're going to be the best defense in the NFL, both in real life and fantasy. Now, guys that were going were guys like Noah Fant, who I was big on. Tanyan is going, Kenyon Drake. You start seeing these running backs, James Conner. These running backs start to go in the third round because you can never have more than enough running backs. When they came back around to me, Dallas Goedert was right there with the first pick of the fourth round. Being a Washington fan, a lot of folks are like, why do you draft Dallas Goedert? Look, Dallas Goedert is a very good tight end, and I think that he's going to have a breakout season this year. So I take Dallas Goedert with this pick. My next pick, I take A.J. Dillon because I feel like he's going to have a role. Even with Aaron Jones, I think A.J. Dillon will have a role. The draft continues to go on, right? You see Antonio Brown go off. You see Gesicki go off. And Gesicki was a guy that I had in my queue. I wanted to grab him instead of Irv Smith, but I took Irv Smith with my third fourth-round pick, and that was like maybe that was a panic pick because at this point in the draft, I really didn't even know who to draft. I really had all of my needs met, and there was really no other running back available. So I go ahead and grab Irv Smith. I go ahead and grab Nyheim Hines. I think he's going to be a PPR monster again this season. Then I grab my kicker way early. Grab the Young Ho Kwo. I think he's one of the best kickers in the NFL. Anytime you have a chance to get your guy, sometimes you have to reach to get your guy. So after I took the kicker, I took Trey Lance and Rashad Bateman, and that pretty much rounded up my draft outside of Alexander Madison that's here. So there's 5 more rounds of the draft left, but I was done. I was done in round 13, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in the 7th round of this draft, I was done, and there was still 5 more rounds to go. So I grabbed all my guys early, and I was able to finish the draft in 30 minutes, which was good. But I'm going to kind of go through a few teams, and some of the league mates in this league are going to be watching this video. This is not really to bash anybody. I'm going to be as respectful as possible because I'm a professional. So professional people do professional things, right? So I'm going to be very, very professional, and I'm going to run through this thing quickly so I can get back into the other parts of the podcast. Let's see. Somebody just dropped Zach Wilson. Maybe good, maybe bad. So we go to rosters, right? And we're just going to kind of just go through team by team to see what teams are looking like. So Team Joker. Give me one moment, y'all. I'm going to be right back. All right, guys, so I'm back. So, team by team, Team Joker, Tom Brady is this quarterback. And I had Tom Brady last year. Tom Brady was a top 12 quarterback. Excellent, excellent quarterback. But when you look at this guy's team, Team Joker, the way that he's constructed is he has 4 really good running backs: Antonio Gibson, Derrick Henry, Ezekiel Elliott, and Swift. 4 good running backs. All these 4 have top 15 upside. That's my opinion. He has some nice depth. He has David Johnson there. We don't know what happens this year. He has Mark Ingram. But you got to have these guys on your team. They fill out your team. His wide receivers, Robert Woods, who I really like, Deebo Samuel, he could do something. Henry Ruggs, I'm not feeling. Antonio Brown is a pretty good pick, and Jacoby Myers. So this team right here is going to compete. You know, they're going to compete. T.J. Hockenson is going to be one of the best tight ends in the NFL this season. Oh, man, we got Roger in the building, man. Roger Smith, man. What's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on, man. He says, yo, I had a draft last night. Dak, Terry, Tyreek Hill, Chris Carson, Swift, Kelsey, DJ Moore, Quo. Bro, who are you drafting with? Your receivers is nasty. Just Terry and Hill. Look, you are probably going to win this league. That's a killer draft. I love it. And then Kelsey, value. Says Protect AM, what's up? What's good? Hey, yo, what's good? Chef Dre Boog, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream. It's an A+ draft. Fitz is my backup. Wow, man. Hey, that's a dope draft, AM. I love it. I love it. So let me assess the second team. You got team Vince Young Dream Team. You got Justin Herbert, great pick. He has Miles Sanders, Dalvin Cook. Who are his other running backs? Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs could be good or bad this season. I think he's going to be good. Then his backup running backs are Damian Harris and Michael Carter. I love this team. Ramondre Stevens, that's also another pretty good pickup, especially with Sony Michel leaving. So that's a great handcuff to Damian Harris. I think this guy has solid running backs. Brandon Ayuk and Keenan Allen, solid wide receivers. As a combo, this is a B group in terms of your starters. Hollywood Brown, he's a nobody. Elijah Moore, I do like. The 2 Moore brothers, those 2 guys are pretty solid. So this is a solid team. Ravens defense, Bass as your kicker, solid team. Next team, it hurts when I fart. He got Patrick Mahomes, Darrell Henderson, who, you know, with the whole Sony Michel thing now, we don't know. Aaron Jones is there, Lockett, Tyreek Hill, Chubb. This guy has a squad, man. This guy was a top competitor last year, and I love the handcuffs and Tony Pollard. I love Brian Edwards this year, and then he has Fitzpatrick as his backup. So I really like that team. Let me assess the next few teams before I have to get off the stream. A new day has come, has Aaron Rodgers, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon. I love the Cooper Cup. I think he's going to be a top 15, possibly top 12 wide receiver this year. You got Darren Waller, one of the best. This is the guy that drafted Kyle Pitts. Even though he had Darren Waller, he just loves his tight ends. So that's a double tight end team. He has Kyle Pitts in his flex. I don't think that Kyle Pitts does what people think he's going to do this season. I think that Kyle Pitts is going to erupt next year. He does have some possible targets here. He has Jalen Waddle. I do like Sony Michel in his bench. Quadre Allison is here. Kirk Cousins is a top 12 quarterback this year. Michael Thomas in the IR. So this is another solid team. Tons of good teams in this league. So we'll see what happens with this league. Here is Team Woj Tech. They have Saquon Barkley, Jerry Jeudy, T. Higgins, and Joe Burrow, Jonathan Taylor. This particular team has been building their team every single year, and you see that they have a lot of young assets, and they draft a lot of young assets. This is a team that trades away all of their major players for younger guys. Does it work? Is it going to work this year? I don't know. You're going to have guys like Javonte Williams hit. You're going to have guys like T. Higgins take the next step. Joe Burrow take the next step. Jerry Jeudy has to take the next step with Teddy Bridgewater being the quarterback now. So I really don't know about this team, but this team is very young and full of potential. Next team, no one like us. You got Big Ben Roethlisberger, Najee Harris. These are the highlights, right? Chase Claypool, A.J. Brown. Logan Thomas. This team has another double tight end, Logan Thomas, and I forgot who the other tight end was, but this team right here is very, very solid. Russell Gage, Justin Fields, you know what I'm saying? Travis Etienne on the IR. That was a tough hit for this guy. And then you go, here's my team. I have Russell Wilson, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, Justin Jefferson, Dallas Goedert, Amari Cooper, Raheem Mostert, Washington's defense, ATL's kicker, Jamar Chase, and Trey Sermon in my bench. Doesn't get no better than that. I mean, I love these younger guys, and hopefully some of these guys pop. You know, I like A.J. Dillon, especially if something happens to Aaron Jones. A.J. Dillon can step in and do some damage. I love Nyheim Hines. You got Trey Lance. So some of these young guys. Then I have, Cam Akers and Deshaun Watson. I took flyers on these guys. They were on the, they were just out there, and I just scooped them. Team All Smoke. Dak Prescott, Chris Carson, James Robinson. Big winner with James Robinson. And I believe he traded pretty much nothing to get a James Robinson. So James Robinson is possibly going to do some damage. A.M. Hunter says James Robinson will ball out again. He might share carries with Carlos Hyde. Unfortunate what happened to Travis Etienne. I agree. I was just on James Robinson. I think he has a big season this year. Injuries suck, but to James Robinson's defense is great for him. This is one of the scariest teams in the league. This is Trophy Wife. She has Kyler Murray, Myles Gaskin, Zach Moss, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf. Those are 4 of the top wide receivers in this league, and they are loaded on this roster. The only thing about this team is that they have no depth. The running backs is Zach Moss and Myles Gaskins. You can win. I won with a team similar to this, but they're going to need some running backs to really solidify their win. And their bench needs some work. It needs some work. There are some things that this person can tweak to get more players on that bench. Like, you can trade a Trevor Lawrence. You really don't need a Trevor Lawrence when you have a Kyler Murray. But I get it. You take talent where you can find it. So we got 3 more teams to go over. You got Gorilla DNT, whatever his name is. Jalen Hurts, Melvin Gordon, Jamal Williams, Chris Godwin. This team right here, from the first 4 names that I've read, is pretty much a weak team right now. Travis Kelce highlights this team. You have Adam Thielen and Kenny Golladay. I love both of those guys. But outside of that, okay, you got Juju on the bench. Okay. So you got something here, but you might not have anything here. I don't know about this team, but some trades are possibly in their future. Z again, Lamar Jackson, David Montgomery. When Philip Lindsay's your RB2, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. I'm not saying that Philip Lindsay's going to be bad, but that's just tough for Philip Lindsay to be your RB2. You got Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, George Kittle, Allen Robinson, Julio Jones. What this team has is pretty good wide receivers. So that should help their case of making the playoffs and possibly, doing some damage in the playoffs. But you look on the bench, you see some more sleepers like Will Fuller, Michael Gallup, Mike Williams, T.Y. Hilton. This team will need to trade one of their 1 million wide receivers to get a running back to help them win. And the last team I'm going to talk about is Capital Punishment. They have Josh Allen, J.K. Dobbins, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Last year, this team right here made a crazy trade to get Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't want to repeat it on air because it was crazy. They do have Stephon Diggs, who I like. So this pairing right here is pretty nice. Broncos defense. Chase Edmonds should have a decent season this year. J.D. McKissick on the bench. Xavier Jones would have been a nice sleeper, but what just went down today, I don't know anymore. Corey Davis, this guy seems to love Corey Davis. He kept Corey Davis as a keeper. I tried to save him from doing that, but he didn't want to trade with me. So Corey Davis is his keeper. Man, you guys have been busy in this chat. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yo, Hawk, man, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Yo, Manny, that squad is dope, man. Look, I trade a lot. I trade and I continue to build keepers. It says, what up, Washington brethren? He says, yo. So, guys, man, appreciate you guys hopping on, man. I wanted to talk about a lot more, but I needed to get off on the stream. But tonight, the Back Row Skin Show is on. I have 4 or 5 guests coming on the show tonight. It's going to be at 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time. Back Row Skins show. It's going to be a great show. So you guys, I hope to see everybody there. Hope y'all are doing well. And I will catch you guys on the next